The world of construction technology can be very confusing and very overwhelming for a lot of contractors. And navigating this world and picking the right solutions for your business can be very tricky. So in this episode, I'm going to sit down with Athena Shira. Athena is the VP of Business Development at Athena Engineering, a mechanical contractor based in California. And Athena has a lot of experience picking the right tech solutions for her business. And she's going to walk us through a lot of the tips and tricks that she's picked up along the way. My name is Brian Davis. I work for Procore, and I will be your host on this episode of Tech Tools for the Trades. All right. Well, welcome, Athena. Thank you so much for joining me. I've really been looking forward to this conversation. You and I, of course, have become buds over the last year or so, so I've been looking forward to this.
Me too.
Now, this is a great topic, evaluating new tech. This is something that's really important. We actually did a survey last year of over 500 different specialty contractors, and one of the top challenges that they came back with was, in addition to things like training and implementation, many of them said, one of my biggest challenges is just finding the time to evaluate new tech. So just to get started here, just to get an understanding of kind of where you come from, but tell us a little bit about the tools that Athena Engineering is currently using from a construction technology software standpoint.
Okay. So Athena Engineering is a self-performing mechanical contractor. So what makes us a little bit different than a lot of our peers is that we're a prime contractor. So most of the time we are both the general as well as the self-performing mechanical. And we also self-perform building automation. So we have two in-house trades plus a general construction department that runs a lot of projects turnkey with our own in-house labor. So that means that at any point we could be keeping track of a project each, or we could be keeping track of one project that involves all three departments. So with that being said, it's kind of dictated the way that we approach the marketplace. Obviously, Procore is this kind of the centerpiece or construction management centerpiece, and then connected to that, we utilize Sage 100 as our accounting ERP. We most recently just joined up with Kojo, who's going to be managing our purchasing department and our purchasing function. So that's obviously something we talk about a little bit later, but that's been a super interesting process. And then on our operations side, we utilize Bamboo HR. And on the estimating side, we use Procore Estimating, and we also use a software called QuoteSoft that is specific to sheet metal estimating. We also have a pre-construction software that we utilize for invitations to bid and sending out bid packages to subs, because we do bid most projects turnkey. We usually have about 6 to 7 different trades, sometimes up to 20 to 25 trades that we're bidding to. So we have quite a bit of software.
So what typically occurs within your team or within Athena Engineering, within your business, to cause you to think, you know what, I really think that we need to look to some kind of a software solution or tech solution to help us solve this problem?
So we used to not be formalized at all, and we would just buy whatever we thought was super cool and then let it languish. And in addition to the ones I named, we have like 4 or 5 other little ancillary softwares, like a CRM on our business development side as well. And then we have a couple others kind of spread out throughout the company. But our formal process that we actually started, I want to say a couple of years ago, when our software expenses just kept growing and there really didn't seem to be a rhyme or reason, was we started building processes. So somebody in the department, usually someone that leadership will assign, builds a process chart. And it's a swim lane diagram. And we use a software called Lucidchart, super inexpensive. And you just go on and you build a swim lane chart that shows this person has this swim lane, this person has this swim lane, etc. And then the process moves through that swim lane. And it gives us a really interesting way of seeing how a process is moving. And what we've done is started to evaluate, are there too many steps in this process that could be easily changed or easily condensed utilizing a software solution? And recently that decision, all of this was in play because our purchasing department, we built out the process map. We were building standard operating procedures for the department and found out that there was like 40 steps to just getting an order in. And frankly, when our purchasing manager was out of town and all of us were doing the purchasing, we realized how much of a mess the whole process was and how much his work was being duplicated. This poor guy. And he came back and gave us a look like I've been trying to tell you. So we build this process out. And then once we build the process, we're able to easily see, okay, you know what? Let's see if there's a software solution that answers these 5 steps or these 10 steps, or maybe addresses this bottleneck. And then it gives us a way to analyze the software intelligently instead of just picking something for fun.
So that's a really great tie-in kind of into my next question. I know that when you're evaluating new tech solutions, it's really important to keep in mind those end users and the ones that are actually going to be using this technology. How do you make sure that happens as you're going through the evaluation process? Not just the decision that, hey, we should go and look for something, but then as you are finding solutions out there, how are you involving the end users in that process?
We always try to involve most definitely the direct person in the department who comes up with the problem, because it's absolutely their right, in my mind, to be part of the solution, right? Because they came up with it. They looked at it, they evaluated it creatively and came up with ideas. So they should be involved in what software they're going to be dealing with. So they're involved with everything from the demo all the way through implementation. We always have somebody else from executive leadership besides me involved in the conversation as well. And then we also always have our Procore champion, Matt. He's involved in every conversation, and he's also involved in many of the evaluation phone calls too, because he's looking at it for how does it integrate into the wider ecosystem, our tech stack. And he's pretty key in helping us understand how it's going to work into the Procore processes that we've already created. And then usually what I'll do throughout the evaluation process too is bring in key stakeholders from the wider company, maybe our foreman, maybe our lead superintendents, just to get ideas.
So, this kind of goes without saying, but no matter how big or small your organization is, cost is always a factor, as it should be. Do you have steps or a process that you follow to identify ROI before you acquire or implement some kind of a new piece of technology?
Absolutely. I think that in a smaller business, it looks different than a big business. Mm-hmm. A larger company might be a lot more systemized in their approach and have more data to back their decision. As a smaller organization, you just don't have that. But what we do have is our process chart. So I know it sounds super boring, but that's what we go back to, right? We look at the steps and then we actually assign hours. This takes 1 hour, this takes 2 hours, this takes 20 minutes, whatever it might be. And we assign that time and then take that total time times the wage of the person who's doing that activity in order to figure out just a loose labor calculation of how much it's costing in labor to do these additional steps, and then compare that to the cost of the software.
Well, Athena, unfortunately, we're out of time. It feels like whenever you and I get together, we have so much more that we want to talk about than really we have minutes in the day. So thank you for joining me on this topic. Thank you for your words of wisdom, such great advice. And just thank you for everybody for watching this episode of Tech Tools for the Trades. And again, thank you, Athena, and have a great day.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody.